one man wanting a part of this bailout mess is a man named of Quentin, not Clinton with a Q. Quentin wants $1 million of it. If I held the reins, he'd have not only been in the front of the line, I'd have given him $100 million, with only one string attached, which is more than what the banksters got. But that's that he keep that, out of that $100 million, he keep one and pass the other $99 million on. Oh, I know there may be a bad apple or even a few, but in proportion to the banksters, I'd say much fewer bad apples in that bunch that he'd choose. Even so, since this nation is still mostly, for a little while longer anyway, comprised of Anglo-Saxons, I can make this seem like more of a bad idea by mentioning that he is an African American. Can I possibly make this seem even worse? It's easy. He's a musician. He does employ about 100 people, hence the 100 mil. I'm sure there's one he wouldn't entrust with that kind of money. And I'm willing to gamble that that bunch would do more good for this country and the economy than the nearly $8 trillion the banksters have gotten. In case you haven't guessed, the man I'm talking about is Quentin Marcellus. But I'm sure there's a Quentin equivalent in every state. A creative individual who has turned his art into a successful business, or a businessman who has used his creativity to grow his business. Mark Johnson is a good case in point. He's someone who's doing this at a higher level. From the film Playing for Change, which is a wonderful play on words, to building music schools all around the world. There's a lot of power in music. I know this from personal experience. For the last month and a half before I left the Navy, under honorable conditions, of course, I'd take the bus from Miramar Naval Air Station near San Diego up to the LA bus depot. Get there about an hour before my wife could pick me up after she got off work. And I'd sit and practice on whichever guitar I was toting that day. The first time after I'd run through a song or two, a sweet chick, I know, but that's what we said back then. She bent over, flipped open my guitar case and said, "You'll get more money this way." She sat down beside me, closing her eyes, and began moving to the rhythm. Seems like every passerby was in a mood for giving. 147 folding and some bucks in change. The value of my loving labor left me feeling strange. My loving wife was not impressed. It may have been the groupie. By the time we got back home, convinced me that it was a fluke, a rarity. Well, I sat and played again and shared my music publicly. Kids would learn and join the choruses their parents actually knew, with songs like "This Land Is Your Land" and "Puff the Magic Dragon," to name just two. And those parents seemed inclined to show their gratitude judiciously when the speakers called out the boarding calls. I'd act like I would need to go, and moms and dads could board the bus and kids without reluctance follow. The buck or two would add up fast. I'd even had the pleasure of shaking some donations away when a parental thanks and poverty clashed, and the kisses and hugs, the glances and smiles just blew me away. But I kept this a secret and held it too tight, and after my discharge it faded from my sight, until wrenched into light just the other day with the idea that the best way to inform, educate, and bail us out of the mess we're in just may be through music. And now, into the circle file.